Health experts are warning tonight the months ahead will be some of the hardest of the pandemic, and it comes as the U.S. climbs toward a third peak, and nowhere is it more true than in Wisconsin, the country's hotspot. The state is setting records for new cases, hospital admissions, and deaths. CBS's Adriana Diaz went inside a hospital in Wisconsin's capital.
At University Hospital in Madison, COVID cases have doubled in just 2 weeks. Nurse Katie Lanaway says it happened almost overnight.
I'm really frustrated. It is scary because you don't want to take that home to people you care about.
You feel safer here in the COVID unit than you do out in the public in some places. Yeah. This COVID unit used to be limited to this one hallway, which has about 10 patients' rooms. Now they've had to expand to 3 hallways because of this surge. Dr. Jeff Pothoff is Chief Quality Officer and on the medevac team that's already airlifted several COVID patients in.
They thought they were going to be okay, and then all of a sudden they end up here. And there's some regret. At that point, it's too late. There isn't a do-over.
We really need help here in the hospital from people outside to start wearing the mask and staying away from people.
With COVID cases now surging across the nation, the former head of the FDA says, brace yourselves.
We have 2 or 3 very hard months ahead of us. I think this is probably going to be the hardest phase of this pandemic.
A new peak is hitting one Utah health system especially hard. ICU beds this weekend reached over 100% capacity.
This is as serious as it gets. We have had to turn away transfers, people in other states.
In Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot says the city's facing a second wave with more than 500 new cases a day.
We have increasingly seen large gatherings of unmasked young people. Folks, that has to stop.
But some encouraging news at New York City schools. Of more than 16,000 COVID tests, just 28 came back positive. 20 staff members, 8 students. Back in Wisconsin, doctors aren't just confronting hard truths, but also Midwestern resilience.
The people of the state, I just think we need to bubble that up to the top, that team spirit, that grit, and maybe we can get through this.
While COVID records are being broken here in Wisconsin, there have been lawsuits against the governor's mask mandate and 25% limit on indoor gatherings. Last week, a judge ruled against those capacity limitations, but just today, another judge put them back in place. So the rules keep changing, Nora.
Wow. Adriana Diaz, thank you.